everybody, and welcome to the newest indoor adventure in Masks, The Green Sun, Part 3. Today is March 25th, 2021, and you are loved. That is a very important thing that we like to remind each and every single one of our viewers at the beginning of each and every single one of these games. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/indooradventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point, including full playthroughs of Curse of Strahd, Ghost of Saltmarsh, Waterdeep Dragon Heist, Tyrant Security, Tomb of Annihilation. We got a bunch of games up there. Go check it out. There's almost 400 different videos that we have uploaded to that YouTube channel, so there's probably something that you would enjoy, hopefully. You can also find us anywhere audiocasts are made available for free. And speaking of things that are being made available for free, if you go to patreon.com/indooradventures, you can check up on our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from the community, but also from each other. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask myself or any of these other fine folk, feel free to join us on our Discord or post your questions in the chat to the side over here, and we will do our best to respond in kind. The link to that Discord, of course, is found in, again, the Twitch chat to the side, or if you're watching this, listening to this, you can find it in the link of the description of this video audiocast down below. But if you already support us on YouTube, you already support us on Twitch and Patreon and all of those other wonderful places, and you're trying to think to yourself, where can I go to help support this incredible show even more? Guess what, buddy? I got your back. Quite literally, in fact, because if you go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, we got t-shirts, we got posters, we got mugs, we got crop tops, throw pillows, shower curtains. I was going to say baseball gloves. I know that's not a thing that we sell, but we do happen to sell Tia masks. That's right. We have face masks in the 5 glorious colors of our Dragon Queen herself, with the design done by our very own Cyberwolf1201. We have also updated those masks so that way we have like the tri-mask now versus just this little itty bitty flimsy one. So all of the proceeds of those masks end up going to help support Doctors Without Borders. So if you would like to help support a good cause or possibly help support the show, you can once again go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. That is indooradventure, no S at the end, .redbubble.com. But that is it for my spiel. So let's get things started. Hey, KyleWithAnN, who you playing today?
Hi everyone, I'm KyleWithAnN, and tonight I am playing Aurora. She is the star, and we both use she, her pronouns.
And GB, who are you playing?
Tonight I'm playing Cody Johnson. Name is in the works. He uses he, him, and so do I.
Excellent. And what playbook are you playing?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm playing the Bull.
Alrighty. And Satan, who are you playing?
Hi everyone, my name's Satan, and today I'll be playing Luciana, aka Aftershock, the Redeemed.
And our boy Reeves.
What's up, everybody? It's me, your boy Reeves. I'm here without a spine, stolen from me by the cruel necromancer mere moments ago. Just like my boy Caleb Crow, the Janus, who is currently feeling pretty spineless and being bewitched.
And I am the indoor adventurer, your friendly voice in the sky. I use he, him pronouns, and tonight I will again be your voice in the sky. So it's been a couple weeks since we last played, so let's give a recap of the events that have currently led us to where we are today. From the beginning, as a general recap, there was a cosmic level event known as the Green Sun, the Verdant Embrace. This, for about 10 minutes or so, the sun itself turned this luminescent green color that bathed the earth in its greenish light. And after that point, we started seeing a rise of metahumans. Now, at this point in time, not much is known about what these metahumans are, what their powers entail, that sort of thing. That is where our heroes come in. These heroes are going to be pretty much the first generation of these new heroes, these new metas that are here to help save either the city, the world, or just themselves. Now, where we left off, Aurora, you had been filming a public shoot in the Midgrove Industrial Forest in downtown Everett Heights, and during that performance, a group of cultists had appeared, summoning forth flaming monsters, flaming swords, fire shooting out of their hands. They were like some straight-up D&D wizards, but we're not playing D&D. we're playing a game based in real life, so magic is a little bit of a separate caliber going on. However, Aurora, while you were filming, a man in a glowing suit of armor appeared out of nowhere, while another individual dressed up as a crow seemed to throw away some trash and then join you battling up against these cultists. It was during that time, Luciana, that you were still in the background, not really wanting to be seen. This wasn't your fight, really. You've been trying to lay low as you are, again, a reformed, a former villain who is trying not to do those things. During last game session, Aurora, you managed to sit down, and after viewing the events that had happened in the Midgrove Industrial Forest, you were able to track down two individuals that you know had superhero-like abilities that had helped you during this point, one of which being Luciana and the other being Cody. After a little bit of coercion, blackmail, and straight up friendly attitude, you managed to get both Cody and Luciana to agree, either on their own volition or, again, at the risk of blackmail, to join you for an after-school study session that was being held at your apartment in downtown. And Crow, also known as Caleb, you had been working at your everyday, mild-mannered coffee shop gig. You ended up meeting a woman by the name of Loraine, who seemed to express a slight concern that the crows around town seemed a little bit more nervous than usual, and asked if you knew anything about that. And she said that she would see you around. And as we left off last session, Caleb, you were on your way home from chess club and decided to take a little bit of a shortcut through the Midgrove Forest, where you had seen Loraine sitting by an industrial fountain, sort of feeding some animals, and she had called you over to sit next to her. And as you had managed to make your way over to sit next to her to hear what she had to say, we also then cut away to show Cody and Luciana making their way up an elevator to Aurora's floor. Now, I think that the best place for us to start off is going to be with Cody and Luciana making their way up this elevator. As the two of you had met at the entry floor of said apartment complex, and you know that however many floors up in her apartment, Aurora is there. Cody, you are a huge Aurora fan. Have been for quite some time now, and now she has personally invited you. You know she has your phone number. What great luck this is. But Luciana does not seem to have the same attitude about meeting a pop star. But the two of you manage, again, to go up this elevator. I feel like there is very little in terms of conversation that is had between the two of you, or if there is, it is just kept very like, oh, I didn't know you came to this place. Be like, I don't. Oh. Okay.
What floor do you need? I remember saying something like, what floor do you need? It was the one
She
that
just
was...
pressed the floor for
And so the two of you are through the elevator, no worries, and you are now standing in front of Aurora's house room. That doesn't make sense in terms of words, but I'm drinking some coffee, so like bear with me on this one. So you are in front of this like hotel apartment room. Who knocks on the door?
After an awkwardness,
Like you
feel
both
like
just stand
Luciana's
there.
just it's the bum bum bum.
And Aurora, right on time, as probably a little bit. Cody, do you think you would have showed up a little bit early or a little bit late?
well, I have to show up at the same time as
Luciana. So,
got there.
Luciana, do you think that you would have showed up early or late?
I think usually she's late to most things, but because she's being blackmailed,
That's a strong
she'll
word.
show up on time.
Okay. Yeah, so
Or it's a strong word for a strong situation, Steven.
it's true. So, Aurora, at exactly the time that you had scheduled your new study group to meet up, you hear a like police bam 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 on your door. And when you go and check the eye hole, it's not the cops, but you see Luciana and Cody both standing there.
Yeah, the door will swing open and Aurora will be there, looking like presentable as always. She's not in her comfy jammy situation, and she'll just be like, "Oh, how fortuitous that you guys arrived at the same time."
And Cody had leaned back a little bit and was like, point, like she's the one who pounded, not me. And he's got, he's blushing like.
Yeah, there are definitely like other doors open to like people peer out and just like, oh, it's that Aurora character again, and then they like close the door.
I think as she notices that there's other doors open, she'll just be like, "Cody, why are you banging so loud?" And she'll just walk into Aurora's house. She's not even gonna wait for an invitation.
Yeah. Aurora will just be like, yeah, help yourself to some refreshments, and you'll see that she got like a veggie platter. Like a veggie platter, like a fruit platter. It's just probably something that like her, like an assistant, like went and grabbed for her.
Yeah, these are leftovers technically from other events that you've been to. Dimitri just lets you keep all of the extra food because that way it saves on your grocery bill at the end of the month. So I feel like this is like technically a leftover, but like a brand new veggie plate. Like maybe 3 baby carrots were eaten out of it at one point, and now it's just totally fine.
And yeah, Cody's too awkward and nervous to like eat anything right away. So he's just kind of like.
And Cody and Luciana, as the two of you are looking around, this looks like it's straight up out of a Pottery Barn ad. Like everything looks nice. It's where it's supposed to be. I feel like the only place in Aurora's room, like I feel like it's not a studio. It probably has like a slight like area for you to sleep in, so that way you don't go crazy having only one spot. But I feel like the only like dirty / busy area is probably like a computer.
Okay.
Where you get a lot of work done. And I feel like Aurora is definitely the like 2 to 3 monitor setup. Like, because you do
I
video.
got the gamer setup.
Oh, you got the gamer setup. Like,
Yeah.
you thought about streaming at one point, but like, maybe. You'll get around to it. You're still getting all the setup done.
Luciana will just walk in, look around, stare at the veggie platter, and eventually just like, when someone just kind of sits down on a sofa with like their arms out and like her dirty boots on the coffee table in front of her.
I thought you were going to say on the veggie platter. I was like, that's too much.
No, on the table. And then she's just like, "What do you want?"
Man, I had a whole thing prepared. Can you at least let me...
No.
Can I at least do I'm going to do
No.
the intro.
No.
So, I
What do
bet
you
you're
want?
wondering
Why are you
why I gathered you
blackmailing
all
me?
here today.
I am wondering why you're blackmailing me. Yes.
Cody's nervously like grabbing one of those baby carrots.
They're right next to Luciana's boots.
Yep.
Fine, I suppose I'll just cut to the chase then, since we have no appreciation for decorum here. And she'll grab a remote, and you can see that she has like her computer like connected to the TV with the HDMI cable, and she'll like press play, and yeah, you guys will see the footage of what happened that day with Cody and Aftershock and the trash bird, of course.
Yeah.
And yeah, she'll just let it play through without saying anything at first.
Yeah, as soon as it comes on, Cody nearly sputters carrot everywhere, and it was like, nope.
Yeah, and
just puts the.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
like, Cody, like, that, like, those are your shoes, but, like, you can't see your face, but then, like, Golden Man shows up, and it's just like, that's not me at all.
That's why, like, he's chewing, trying to be nonchalant. He is still standing, by the way. He never sat down. He's just kind of, like, standing awkwardly.
And Luciana, looking at this footage, you don't know what like why you were so worried. This doesn't show any of your face. Yeah, like there's some earth power stuff happening, sure, but like all things considered, it's not like they can see, oh shit, there you are right there. Like as the video is like ending and the camera is running away, you can just see yourself clearly like running through the woods for a brief second.
I feel like at that moment it's just instant like eye squint and then slow like moving her gaze to Aurora. She's not happy.
Yeah. Oh, once it gets to the end, she'll just pause it and be like, well, I have to say, it took me quite a bit of time to figure out who you were. But you're very capable. I'll give you that much.
And that's all you get out of Cody is like a couple of stammers. Like he doesn't actually want to admit to it.
It's just a stare from Luciana.
Okay, listen, I didn't come here just to show you, and don't worry, I'm the only one who's seen the cut of this footage. I have a bit of a proposition to make.
Eyebrow.
And she'll rewind a bit back to the footage and she'll pause it like on the cultists and be like, Everett Heights has had its villains in the past. I've dealt with a few of them, but nothing of this caliber.
I don't think parking in the wrong spot is necessarily a villain.
She'll just kind of like grimace a little bit. And let's face it, the game is changing with the green sun and the metahumans. All the threats are bigger than they were before, and well, yes, there are heroes out there and maybe even a few teams. They don't really operate on a level to deal with things like this. And she'll like, let the footage roll through a little more of like, the fire and the blade hands and everything.
Well, I may have to move. Those cultists, I think, are here for me.
Well, listen, if you decide to move, what's to say that they wouldn't follow you to the next place, and the next, and the next, and the next, and the next, so on and so forth?
Well, from here, I'd probably just go to like. He's like in his head.
Riverside
Death Valley?
Field.
Death Valley? Yeah, he doesn't know. He's a kid. So
Cody, what I'm proposing is, what if there was a way to deal with this problem? Look, I have experience with being a hero and being a part of a team. However, as embarrassing as it is to admit, my skill set is not enough to handle this on my own.
What, you want us to form a team?
Well, yeah, exactly that.
Why do you care?
Well, I, for one, don't like having people that can set things on fire, set my town on fire. So that's a pretty big reason.
Yeah, but that's not the only reason you're doing this, is it?
She'll kind of just shrug her shoulders.
I mean,
So,
hey, would we be the new Rainbow Maidens?
I
Oh,
am not
no.
being a rainbow maiden.
No.
Cody doesn't laugh.
Listen, it would take years of training and choreography and acting lessons and voice lessons and public speaking lessons. We don't have time for all that. I can, however, offer the experience of what I know and being a hero and being part of a team. And, well, I suppose you guys can bring the firepower.
So let me get this straight. You blackmail me.
That's a strong
Force me to
word.
come. It's a strong word for a strong situation. You force me to come here. You reveal me in front of this dude. Then you ask me to be part of your group because the Rainbow Maidens kicked you out and you have nowhere else to go.
I mean, you don't have to phrase it like that. That's very harsh. And not exactly, that's all rumors anyway. So.
And
Yeah, you just left to go solo.
well, yeah, and I mean, the Rainbow Maidens are obviously diminished without the light of Aurora, and Cody just like blurts it out like
Oh,
like
I mean,
like
I don't know. That new Opal girl seems pretty cool.
Her eyebrows were furrow a bit. I've made 2 cuts of the footage. One is the fully unedited, let's call it the Snyder cut. We have the Snyder cut right here. And here we have the Whedon cut. And she'll go to the one that's of just Aurora by herself, the very canned looking footage. And we'll let that one play through as long. It's like, obviously, gauging now, I can tell that perhaps you would like to keep a little bit of anonymity. And I can ensure that.
If we join your little pop group.
It's not going to be a pop group.
And what do you bring other than choreography?
Like I said, I have experience in this, and although I don't have powers of my own, I am pretty formidable.
Right. Listen, I get it. You want to go back to being part of a team. Get your little glory days back, or whatever the fuck people are calling it. It's really important that people don't know that I'm here. And I don't think parading around with my powers, very distinct powers, is going to help me. Now 2 people know. 2 people that I didn't want to know. I don't want anyone to know.
Then why did you help out at all?
I'm an asshole, but I'm not a dick. If I see
I
people
failed to see the distinction.
I'm not just gonna sit around if I can help. People clearly in danger. But who's to say this is just like a one-off thing?
Well, Cody, do you think this is a one-off thing?
Oh no, those flaming dickheads. They're after me. I'm pretty sure. And that's why. But I mean, it would. I, I very flattered. I mean, and yeah, like literally the T-shirt. You see like an Aurora T-shirt, like kind of in the thing, and he's like, I mean, that would be amazing. But I mean, if your guys are around and they come after me, then you guys might get burned or sword handed, then that'd be uncool. I couldn't. I mean, I wouldn't want to have that on me.
I believe that this is a threat that can't be solved by any one person alone, even if they do have crazy awesome powers. And I think it would be a good idea to put people with crazy awesome powers together on one team.
Right. So let me ask you something. Have you ever actually fought a villain of this magnitude?
No,
What have you fought that hasn't been pre-planned or choreographed?
not everything
Right.
is part of the show. There
Mhm.
are some genuine things, however, they are kind of on the level of and she'll go back through the footage and she'll pause on Crow and be like, dealing with litterers.
But that dude helped us. He's not like a bad guy, right?
Wasn't he
Yeah,
like
no,
throwing
I've
trash
been-
away?
I've been trying to find him too, but no, hasn't really panned out that well. I just got lucky that the two of you happened to be in my homeroom class.
I think at that, Luciana, like while she's talking, Luciana's just gonna take out her phone and send a text. And I think wherever Caleb is, eventually you'll get a text message that says it's just an emoji of a crow and an address.
Okay. So let's actually go over to hang out with Caleb. Caleb, you were on your way home from school, on your way back from chess club. You were going through Midgrove Industrial Forest. You ended up seeing Loraine. She called you over to sit next to her, and she's currently just out feeding the wildlife. She I think she has some crackers, like a box of crackers with her. She doesn't use bread because she knows that bread will expand on the inside of animals' tummies. That's a bad time. You want to make sure that like it's on the up and up for them. And I think that she probably has some very basic questions for you, kind of some small talk like, oh, how are you enjoying your bike ride? Do you ride your bike through this park often? That sort of thing. And then the conversation will eventually lead back to what she had brought up at the coffee shop. And she says to you, and she looks like she just got out of work, maybe not too long ago. Like she still has a security badge. You don't recognize the name of the company, but it says her name on it, which is Loraine Windmere. And she says to you, Caleb, do you want to know something that something incredible that you may or may not believe?
I think Caleb did not take a seat next to her, but is instead like standing next to the spot and like leaning on his bike seat as a chair, just to like have a little better like distance and viewpoint. And he says, "Sure. I mean, why not?"
Ever since I was a little girl, I always connected more with the creatures outside than I ever did the people that existed within the towns. Everywhere I went, I always found it easier to talk to a dog, talk to a cat, than I did talk to another person. About a year and a half ago, I realized that those creatures are talking back. Now, it might sound a little wild, but... And she extends her hand out, and you see like a squirrel on the other side of this park that suddenly kind of like gets a little rigid and looks over towards her, and she just makes a small beckoning motion with her fingers, and the squirrel will come over. She gives it some food. You see it like stuff some of these crackers into its cheeks, and then she makes like a shooing motion, and the creature leaves.
I mean, that's pretty amazing. And I wouldn't say it's all that unbelievable considering, you know, he like gestures up at the sun and like broadly at the same time.
And she kind of laughs to herself and says, now, I'm not going to lie to you, Caleb. I imagine that you were going to meet this with a little bit more of, well, incredulity. You seem like you're a little bit more familiar with this sort of interaction. Am I right on this?
I mean, well, my older brother was affected, and my mom is in law, so I'm a little closer to that side of things than I think most. I read a lot too, so.
Well, that's good. Reading is awful important. Now, Caleb, I have another question for you. You say that your brother had something like that affect him. Has anything like this ever happened to you?
Not as far as I'm aware.
She's going to actually use her influence over you.
Yeah, I'm like gonna try to resist that.
Okay. However, I believe you still have insecure as one
Yep,
of
take a
your
-2.
conditions. Yep.
But I am rolling. Defend. No. Why am I missing this?
So, to clear a condition, to clear insecure, you have to take a foolhardy action without talking to your team.
No, sorry. I meant, what am I rolling to resist?
Influence.
I'm just spacing the stat, and I'm not seeing it easily on the sheet here that I have.
Let me see real quick. I put all these tabs in my notes so that way it would be easier.
I think it's just is it just a straight roll?
I believe so.
Yeah, when you reject someone's influence, roll.
Right. Okay, cool. Great. $10?
With the -2?
Okay, yeah. That's, I mean, it's what boxcars will do for you.
Yeah, so she is definitely, she seems to be goading you a little bit. Like she might have an idea.
Crow is gonna, or he picks up where he left off. I've never really, you know, not as far as I know, but I have a friendship with the crows around here, but that's because I've been social with them for a long time. I wasn't like super close to a lot of people as a kid, but I like read that crows would like get friendly if you fed them, so I started feeding the crows around here a lot, and he like whistles like a simple little like 3-note whistle, and I think Mephistopheles like flies down out of a tree and just like lands on his handlebars. And Crow like opens up his bag and pulls out like a little cooler bag with some frozen peas in it.
Excellent.
And like tosses some to the other animals there, and then like holds out a palmful for Mephistopheles. I, am pretty friendly with the crows around here.
And she is watching you so intently as you do this. And she says, I think you'll like me, Caleb. Have you ever asked these crows to do anything? Like fly in a group, pick something up, bring it back to you, that sort of thing?
I mean, we've done like simple training commands, but nothing like special in the way you're talking about, I don't think.
Could you try for me? She's going to try and influence you again.
I mean, sure. I mean, can I just fake it? Like, I don't have to tell them to do anything. I could just like...
She basically is just wanting you to exhibit your Janus powers a wincy bit.
I'm trying to think of like what I can get Mephistopheles to do that still just rides the line of being possible with just like a random bird. And he pulls out, I think, 4 little like silver rubber balls. He's like, I haven't trained in this particular trick with this bird here, but I'll improvise. We'll see. And he starts to juggle. And he like lets out like a couple short whistles, and Mephistopheles like flies up and grabs one of them out of the air, and Crow like adapts to juggling 3, and then like perches on his head. And then when Crow whistles again, he just drops it, and like Crow catches it and incorporates it like back into the juggling, and then catches all 4. And
I think Loraine is, I think she kind of like chuckles at this a little bit. And she says, Caleb, I am in the process of getting together some like-minded individuals, such as myself and, well, folks like your brother. Now, I was wondering if you ever were in need of pursuing these kinds of talents. We have a warehouse out in the docking ward. Be meeting there later tonight. I got some folks that'd be willing to train you on how best to use those powers of yours if you ever decided that, well, maybe juggling isn't the skill that you got necessarily. And she will pull out a business card, and she will hand it to you, and all it has on it is an address.
Thanks, I guess. I'm still not really sure I have anything special, but
And that's the beauty of it, Caleb. You never think that what you have is special until you're put up against people who don't have what you have. You come to the warehouse, I will show you exactly how special you are.
And what do you mean by like-minded?
One of the things that happened to me at the Sun, I get a sense, get a general feeling when others have, well, and she will like make a motion and you see a couple squirrels will come up to her. Abilities such as ourselves. What I'm trying to do is make sure that in case anything happens, like fire spirits appearing in the middle of the forest, that there are people there that can put those, well, cultists, flaming elementals, however you want to describe it, can put them to ash.
Can you please remind me if I have let her know that I know anything what happened here last night? Crow just like, I'm sorry, fire elementals?
Well, yes.
Cultists?
Didn't you hear? There was quite a terrible thing that happened in the middle of the forest. It was late last night, or a couple nights ago now, I believe is what the voice in the sky had said.
The, like, hooligans who set fire to one of the trees?
The very same. Now, from what most people are saying, a little hush-hush, calling it hooligans, but there are pictures that I have seen from people who were there. Those weren't hooligans. They were dressed up in robes. They were setting fire to things, and they looked awful mean. I'm not a fan of mean people. I like to keep a level of politeness. But if you lighten my forest on fire, got another thing coming. Creatures here don't like that.
I can see that. I gotta go cook dinner at home, but I'll give it some thought. If I can't make it tonight,
you can come by Friday. It's another one of our training days.
and he like tucks it into one of his bags.
And she will stand up and kind of just like give you a gentle nod forward and kind of like tip her sun hat that she has, and just says, "Now you get home, you hear? Caleb, it was nice meeting you."
The pleasure's all mine. Have a great rest of your day.
And as she waves, the like 3 squirrels that she had brought up near her also give you little waves goodbye. And then like she looks down at them and just sort of like gives them a shoo, and then they all seem to like catch that, oh, maybe we weren't supposed to do this, and they all scurry away. And Caleb, you hop back on your bike and you begin making your way away from the Midgrove Industrial Forest. And as you are I would say you probably don't notice it. You don't have anything set up on your phone to give, or like set up with like headphones. You have an old flip phone, so it's not like there's like a lot of Bluetooth connectivity or anything like that going on. You probably don't see this text message with the address and a crow emoji from Luciana until you are already home, or at least like at that gas station at your get and go.
Yeah, I think because Crow has full cycling gear, he has to keep his phone in his
one of the saddlebags, yeah.
Because he has no pockets. So he like pulls it out to check it and sees that as he's like sipping on a iced tea.
Yeah.
Which is conveniently also where his cost of it. I think he just, as soon as he sees it, he responds with like 3 question marks, and Like, okay, I'll watch it. But what the fuck does this address have to do with anything?
And so, Luciana, we're going to go back to Aurora, Luciana, and Cody. Luciana, you have sent this message, and you're just like staring at your phone. You're so used to everyone in your grade also just like being glued to their phones, like always have it on vibrate in case anybody responds. And you send this message. A minute goes by. 5 minutes goes by. There's no response from Caleb.
Right. So, we're trying to make us get together in some sort of frou-frou rainbow superpower team.
Listen, I know how my public image is, but trust me, I would not impose that on you two. I mean, you clearly have your own aesthetics going, and it's fine. We don't have to match. I can work with this.
Is this more about the spotlight for you than it is for actually the greater good?
You know, I'm quite wounded that you would think that.
Good.
So, what do you say?
You really need to work on your propositioning skills.
Well, normally I have other people negotiate these things for me, but I decided to take matters into my own hands.
Right. And if I say no?
Well, I suppose I'll let my manager pick which version he would like to release to the press.
You know I could make this entire building come down on us right now if I wanted to, right?
But you're an asshole, not a dick.
Yeah. To people... I can be a dick, though, to people that deserve it.
But do you think that person in the apartment next door deserves it? Or that one over there? Or that one across the hall?
Maybe I could just throw you out a window. How about that?
I'd love to see you try.
So through their whole conversation, Cody is just pretending to
It's
be
still like
drinking.
one long sip.
Like awkward, the whole time.
I don't see why this has to be antagonistic.
You made it antagonistic the moment you threatened my anonymity.
Well, you were being rather difficult.
Oh, you are a catch and a half.
So I've been told.
No wonder your group kicked you out. Well, other than that, you have no powers, obviously.
I mean, really, it's lead, follower, get out of the way. So, maybe she ditched them.
No, I've seen what the Rainbow Maidens can do. I looked you up. They got some, I think they got better once you left, actually.
Matter of your opinion, I suppose.
Well, not just mine. I mean, have you seen the comments, the views, all the popularity they're getting? And you're here, trying to fight people who litter? Trying and failing to get bigger projects? We'll send, 10 followers around? How long do you think it'll take for them to get bored of watching you fight litterers and people who jaywalk and loiter?
I mean, it's Aurora. She's got moves. She knows how this thing goes.
Yeah,
I mean, I just kind of stand around until the bad guys appear, and then he kind of looks around the room like to see if there's any adults or whatever. And he's like, and then I armor up and smash people. I don't know how to find things. I would have never figured out the we were super.
Yeah. Until obviously she blackmailed me, of course. Is that how you try and make friends? Is that how you try and bring a group together, by blackmailing them and then telling them they have no option, really?
Well, Cody was more than agreeable.
Yeah, I'm sure. Cody's your fan, though, clearly. He has nothing better to do.
He suddenly conscious. He pulls his shirt up.
Well, I mean, I think that's rather rude to Cody, wouldn't you
Yeah.
say?
I'm a rude
I
person.
mean, but so you want to help people. He's talking to Aftershock. How do you say it? Luciana. So you want to help people, but you don't want to be part of an organization to help people.
Listen, if something goes wrong and I'm there, sure, I'll lend a hand, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to do so. I got bigger things to worry about. For my own safety. But you know what? Go ahead and release it. We'll see what happens after. Maybe you'll have more villains that you might need to fight. Maybe you'll bring more danger to the town that you can fight. And maybe too much that you can handle. So maybe while you're fighting one, other people bring more danger to others and kill people or maim them or harm innocent bystanders. But that's anything for the spotlight, right? Who cares? Who gets hurt after that?
I'd like to pierce the mask, please.
Pierce that mask.
I would like to pierce the mask. Oh, let's see. What is my mundane at? Ooh. All right. Let's see how this goes. Okay. That's a 7.
Okay, so 7. Let me see here. Examples of pierce the mask. So from a 7, you get to choose one. You lash out verbally, or no, that's take a powerful blow. My bad. Pierce the mask. So for a 7, what are you feeling? What do you intend to do? How could you get your character to blank? How could I gain influence over you? What are you really planning? What do you want me to do?
So Satan, how could Aurora convince Luciana to be a part of this venture?
I think offering her like an even greater, like, say, like, there's a greater, you can be disguised and you might get known, but there's a greater chance to be safe. Like, you can bring extra safety to the anonymity or the people that she's worried, because like, if I'll give you this to Pierce the Max, like she's talking like there's clearly something bigger going on that people don't know, that she's worried about her identity getting out. So like actually working towards what she wants, like helping her gain more, like helping her gain safety, like a balance of like, yeah, you're gonna help people and be a superhero, but I can help you out and help you and protect you or whoever you want from this threat that you're not talking about.
Yeah, I think how this will play out in fiction is like she's like kind of like just analyzing and like picking through your responses and like looking through all your reactions. And I think she'll just like kind of picking up a like celery stick and it's kind of like looking it over and just like not even really looking at Luciana, will just be like, one of the perks of being an already established hero is that I have at my disposal people that can do a great number of services for me, and I guess the people I associate with. Very good at maintaining what my image is and how much information is released out there to the public. I, of course, am no stranger to the spotlight, and I don't mind having my life on display as long as that's carefully curated. But, well, I suppose if I wanted to, or had someone that was interested in remaining totally and completely anonymous, I could arrange that as well.
Right. How do you expect to get a team to work together if they don't even get along? Sure, fanboy here will follow you around like a lost puppy, but
That's so funny. You think that teams get along? No. It's all about business. And if enough people share the same like-minded goal, well, I suppose you can even mix oil and water together. No, we can work through that, trust me.
right. It's like the biggest eye roll. Do I have to answer now, or are you gonna just leave that? Give me at least a day, or are you gonna just publish that whenever you fucking feel like it? And she'll point to the TV.
I can give you time, if that's what you need.
And what are we doing about bird bucket or bucket bird or, you know?
Well, I suppose that's next on my to-do list, is figuring out who this is. But well, I mean, it took me a weekend to find out who you all were. So I suppose with a little more time and digging, I can figure something out.
Right. Well, I'm gonna leave. While you figure stuff out. And fanboy, you tell anyone, you'll be losing a lot of limbs.
He does that like half smirk, like, why are you threatening me? You know, kind of thing. But he's like, I got just as much in this game as you do. So
Right. Well, I'd say it's nice to see y'all, but it really wasn't, so she'll just stand up and just head out.
Which just leaves Cody and Aurora.
but after she leaves, then like Cody like throws out a quip, but it's like way too late and it's way too awkward. It was like, you know, it was nice to see her or whatever, and it wasn't cool seeing you either or something, you know. It just was really awkward and off, you know. And
one of
then
those
he
like,
just-
oh, don't let the door hit you on the way out. And then you look
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Aurora for confirmation, and she's like, you can go as well. Like,
yeah.
yeah, so I feel like at that point, Aurora, your study group meeting has adjourned. Cody, you're probably going to be making your way back home. Luciana, you're making your way back home as well. And Luciana, I want to say that like you still have not heard from Caleb at this point. He either gave you the wrong number or he's ghosting you or something. And then like as you're driving on the way home, you just hear the like from your phone receiving a text message. You look over at the seat and there's this like, yeah, I'll watch it, but what's the address mean? He thinks that you have recommended that he watch the movie The Crow.
You're muted.
She'll take the phone and then they'll just like hit call and just put it on like while she's driving.
Okay, yeah, so Caleb, you have sent that message back. You're just sitting, like, kind of just enjoying your iced tea you said that you had. Probably, like, you don't want to drink and bike at the same time just because, like, it feels weird on the tummy to do that. It's not even about hands. It's just, like, feels weird. And, like, after you send that message, maybe within, like, a minute, your phone just starts going off. And I imagine, like, it's an older phone, so the vibrating function could, like, destroy a tank. It's way too loud, and, like, the speaker's blown out, so it just sounds horrible.
Yeah, it makes a like wheeze like a dying banshee because the speaker is like not receiving anywhere near enough power.
Oh, yeah.
I think he has obviously no product placement, but Arizona iced tea, refreshing,
This is,
sweet.
I say, again, to avoid any kind of product placement, this is Carolina iced tea.
Of course, with their iconic design.
Yes.
TM.
It's a hibiscus.
And he like looks at his like spits a little as he was taking a sip as his phone starts vibrating and like grabs it and hi.
We need to meet up.
Okay.
She'll give like an address to like, is this a port town? I don't think so, right? It's like an inner city.
It has a river that goes through it, so like there are like shipping areas and dock areas, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But for the most part, there's no like seabound shipment area.
Yeah. I think she'll pick like a little like desolate area. Nothing that's too dangerous. Like it's maybe near some business building, so there's not a lot of crime there. But it's like a little like abandoned parking lot or something like that. And she'll give him an address and just say, "Meet me there. It's important for both you and me."
How far away from me do you think the place is that you picked?
Like Luciana is still in town. Caleb, you have to turn your bike around and ride all the way back into town.
You give me that address, and I'm like, I'm a little too tight on time tonight for that. I'm already like out of town and
I'll pick you
bike
up.
all the way. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm at this gas station.
Okay. And it doesn't fall, just the call just ends.
Yeah, and Luciana, you know that it's maybe like a 10-minute drive out of town. It's really not that bad. It's just, you know, anytime that something's like 5-10 minutes by a car, it is way farther than you would expect on foot or on bike.
Yeah.
So yeah, you manage. Caleb, I think that you're just kind of like sitting there. Like, do you store your bike anywhere? Do you just like
I think
She has a pickup truck, so you could put it in her car.
Yeah, that works. I was also thinking I might know the people at the shop well enough that I'm just like, hey, can I stash my bike in the back for a bit?
Yeah, I feel like you've probably done that before, and like you and store owner, let's say his name's Dale, like you and Dale have a rapport going on. Like, yeah, you can definitely just like put it up, clean after yourself. If you're not back by X amount of time, like, and they usually say like, oh, if you're not back by morning, we're gonna sell your bike. But like, it's one of those things, you've never not come to get your bike, and they're open 24 hours. So yeah,
great work. I'll most likely kill you in the morning.
So yeah, I think that you're there for maybe like 10-15 more minutes, and then like Luciana, do you just like blast loud music from your Jeep as you're going?
Yeah,
like you always pull up to a parking spot way too fast.
Yeah, it's her pickup truck, so it's like it's not meant to take curves the way she takes curves. But she kind of she rolls up, and it's not new. It's clearly meant for heavy duty stuff. Like it has like the metal bars at the front. It's a bit scratched and dented at places.
The cow crusher.
A cow crusher. And you just hear like the muffled music, and then she rolls up in front of you, and then they open the door, the passenger door, and just throw it open, and then you just hear the music even louder, and you just hear her say, "Get in."
Crow awkwardly sidles around to the other side and gets in and shuts the door. Are the doors like weirdly light? Because they're old.
Oh yeah, no, they're borderline hollow. There might be like a mouse nest in the bottom of one, but like it doesn't add any weight to these things.
Clunk. Sorry.
Seatbelt.
Yeah, right. Click.
Yeah. I think at this moment she'll just, instead of going where the same address, she'll just kind of drive for a bit and like park near like an empty like old like business place, like where business buildings are that nobody's working at night. And she'll just turn down the music in her car, but she won't get out, so they just talk in her car.
Okay.
So
I know you're this crow guy.
what?
The one that's like, apparently you litter but you don't. I don't know.
I truly have no idea what you're talking about.
What can I do to make him stop bullshitting me?
Well, you can pierce the mask to ask him directly.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pierce the mask. So we'll see. The big ass phone out of my dice tray. That's plus my mundane. Wait. Math. I'm really bad at math, guys. Give me a second. 11.
Okay, so with an 11, I believe that is that you get to ask 2 questions from the...
It's 3 hot boys.
Hot boy.
Hot boys!
So
Spicy
piece them out.
questions!
Yeah, on a 10 plus, you ask 3. What do you intend to do? How could I get your character to blank? What could I gain influence? How could I gain influence over you? What are you really planning? And what do you want me to do?
How can I get your character to trust me? What do you intend to do as Crow? Like, are you just gonna be looking over a park? What do you want me to do with the information that you give me?
Okay, hit me with that first one again. Sorry,
How can
how can I?
Yeah.
How can you get me to trust you?
Yeah.
So obviously at the moment you're just coming at me strong with like, hey, you're like a superhero and I pinned you down. Crow is obviously extremely defensive. I think that if you maybe like talk about the event and like maybe even do like a minor like, you see that rock over there, like ping!
Yeah.
It would help him relax a little bit more because at least he knows like you were there and you're like you've tracked him down because you want to talk about this. What he intends to do is not chase after petty crime his whole life, but he doesn't really like have a target for anything bigger, and he also doesn't like feel capable of doing anything bigger, and then he also has like the pressures from his own family that kind of keep him from stepping too far into that. And then what do I want you to do
with that information?
I don't think Crow even actually knows an answer to that question? Because
how can I gain influence over you instead?
Yeah, by being my friend.
I guess
that's
I'll
really
be your
like
friend.
the only answer I have.
No, that's a fair question. That's a fair answer. I think she'll sense your hesitation, and then they'll kind of roll their eyes inside, and then just turn down a window. And it's like a empty parking lot, so you see that they open up the window on your side, and then they kind of like motion towards the window, and then you just see a shot of earth coming from like beneath the pavement come out, and it's like a little a small, basically like stone lance that appears in her hands.
Oh, so you were there too.
Yeah.
How did you know?
Your hair. Yeah, you should probably pin that up like a hat or something when you're fighting crime.
I need to pin the hood to the mask.
Yeah.
It's a problem. Anyway, I didn't think it'd be an issue this fast.
Listen, I'm not here to out you. I understand that you want your anonymity. I get that. I respect that. But Aurora doesn't, and she is set to find you, as she found me and somebody else that were in that video.
The video. Yeah.
Look,
Okay.
she's blackmailing me into being into this little superhero team, whatever. And she's gonna find you eventually, and she's gonna offer you the same thing. I'm just giving you a heads up.
Got it. Thank you. Actually, are you interested in knowing more about that? Because I found some shit on the ground and I've been investigating myself, but I understand if you don't want to get involved.
About like the weird fire elementals, like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's like, what the fuck? Like, I played Dungeons and Dragons before. That's some Dungeons and Dragons shit.
Oh yeah, extremely. They were just straight up wizards.
Yeah, like
real ass
fire
cultists.
elementals. Yeah, that's a CR I don't think I'm ready for.
How am I supposed to fight fire with birds? I don't want
Water.
my crows to get hurt.
Yeah, no, that'd be pretty dick move. Listen.
Anyway, a couple of them dropped these golden seeds, like they're literally real gold on the outside, and I cut one open and they are biological of nature on the inside, and I planted the other because the scientific method.
Right. Of course, science. Fuck. Of course you planted them.
I have it under observation. It's back with my pipe, but you know.
Right, so you just left it at the gas station.
Well, you're the one who said that I had to have a conversation with you. And...
You could have said no. I didn't force you.
Yeah, but you
I also have a
me and
pickup truck. You could have put
asked
your bike
nicely.
in it. I don't think I've ever asked things nicely, but if you see it that way, good for you.
Called me and like asked me to meet you. That's more than literally any other person has done. So it's nicely in my book. Anyway, yeah, I guess thanks for the heads up. Be careful. There's people watching out there.
What do you mean?
There's a lady that's been, she found me, and she can apparently feel others who were exposed, and was trying to get me to join her team. She kind of creeps me out a lot, but I'm gonna go to their team on Friday to see what information I can get.
Right. Okay, listen. We're both kind of on the same boat. We don't really want other people to know who we are. And we're getting offers from people to join their stupid superhero teams. If you want, I can go Friday with you. Not out in the open, but I can be around in case anything happens.
I guess I'd appreciate that. Yeah, I've got your back too. You seem to be having some trouble with your mask in that fight. I'm pretty handy. Do you even make you something?
I think I know someone that can help me. And possibly help you with your whole pinning the mask thing. If you want.
That's just some sewing. I just need to take my costume. Well, I need to take some sewing supplies to my costume.
The person I know is a little bit more heavy duty, if you want. Like actual gear.
Oh, maybe. I'll think about that.
Listen. I'll watch your back if you watch mine.
Yeah, I got you.
She'll put up a fist bump.
Slowly, like, taps.
She'll me to drive you home.
I'd appreciate just being dropped off at the gas station. I still need my bike.
All right. She'll just kind of like put the ground back. You see the little lands just shoot out again and kind of mold almost like clay back into where it came from. And then they'll
That's pretty sick though.
I know, right? Did you see how I fucking just yeeted that fucking fire elemental into the lake? That was pretty dope, not gonna lie.
That was dope. That was very
Yeah.
good. I didn't have much faith in it, but I also enjoyed jumping off of that dude's shield.
I think I saw
I
it out of my
assume-
side vision. That was pretty dope. I didn't know you could do that. Do you do parkour?
Sort of. Yes, not like as a hobby, but I'm athletic, I guess. You don't have to tell me who they are, obviously, but do you know who the other person there was?
I do. I'm pretty sure those people were after them.
Wait, really?
That's what they said, at least.
I
They're part
kind
of
of need to talk to them, but I get it. I'll figure it out on my own.
I mean, I don't doubt that they're going to join Aurora's little superhero clique, whatever. They're looking for you. If you want me to take them to, if you want me to take you to them, I can.
If you send me the same message next time, I'll know what you mean and I'll be there.
I don't know. One second. She'll send a text to Aurora and say, and look to Kyle first. Do you know what time they're meeting Friday? The other weird creepy superhero team.
Yes. Why?
We can meet up with Aurora after if you want.
Okay. For a moment, I thought you were gonna tell Aurora about it, and I was
Oh
just
no,
thinking
I
about
wouldn't
like
tell that bitch anything.
how recognizable she is. That's would be difficult. But yeah, well, that'll work. I still don't know that I want to reveal who I am to them, so I may just show up as Crow.
Okay. I'll offer on the mask or helmet still stands if you need it.
I think I'm good, but thank you.
Okay. Okay, let's get you back. And then it's kind of just she'll send a text to Aurora and say, I'll meet up with you again on Friday after X amount time. I'll have my answer by then.
You just get a thumbs up emoji.
She doesn't even look at it. She doesn't care. She just throws her phone into the back seat.
Oh yeah. No, and I think that as Luciana, you were driving away, Caleb, you managed to get your bike back out, and you just like right as you're about to get set again, your phone just starts like doing its horrible rumbling, vibrating, screamy message call, and you look and you see that it's it's actually from your mom. And she's wondering why you are so late to come home for dinner. And as you are coming up with a good excuse as to why it has taken you a decent bit longer to actually make your way home, that is where we are going to go into our break for the evening. So we are going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes. Don't go no place unless it's to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. Pick yourself up something nice, and we'll see you guys shortly. All right, everybody. See you soon. And we're back. Hello, everybody. We have returned. Audio levels are normal. We have had minimal frame skips this whole game. Reeves, I think, just chugged some coffee or water. I don't know, but we're here for it. So, Luciana, you just got done communicating with Caleb, who has just then answered a not an angry phone call from his mom, but more of like a general concerned, you're usually on time, where are you? Aurora, you are already at your house, and at this point, it's been maybe like 45 minutes to an hour since your group left. Dimitri has come over. He has brought dinner for you. It's shawarma. His favorite go-to food. And Cody, you are in your beat-up Jeep. The doors are taken off. You're on your way home, I believe, unless there's anything you wanted to do in the city proper before going home.
Yeah, so basically the after he tried to have a comeback but was too late and awkward with Luciana, and he's like just kind of looks over at Aurora and he's like, so I'll see you around. And he kind of leaves, just abashedly, like hands in pockets. And he walks down the hall, and then he goes through instead of going to the elevators, he goes to the like fire stairs, and he walks down like 2 flights of fire stairs. And as he's going down, he's hands in his pockets, like, you could tell like bumming. And then all of a sudden his steps get a little lighter, and then the camera switches down and we see him sliding butt cheeks, on the rail down the next flight of stairs. And he's like, I'm on a team, Aurora, woo! And then he like leaps over the railing and like falls 3 or 4 stories and like boom, does the superhero landing at the bottom of the stairwell. And he's all like totally happy, but like, he had to like get away and act cool.
I imagine
which was even more lame.
That like it's like you land right as somebody with like an armful of groceries who lives on like the 2nd or 3rd floor is like opening up the door to come in, and you just scare the shit out of them. Like they drop some produce and like, damn kids. Like, yeah. But you're just like, nothing's gonna bring me down today.
Walking on sunshine.
Whoa. Yeah. You are feeling good. So yeah, your meetings all went by fine. This is again on a Wednesday night. Is there anything that you all would like to do before going to school tomorrow? besides the obvious homework, general works, that sort of thing. Caleb, you don't notice any kind of like crazy immediate overgrowth coming from the plant where you put this golden pomegranate seed into. Thankfully, it's doing fine on its own. It's just kind of there and like poking around in the dirt. It hasn't sprouted or anything. It looks like it's just kind of sitting, just chilling.
Great.
Yep. So
Crow like makes some minor modifications, sneak it out, like once everyone's asleep to fix up his costume. But that's all.
Yeah, for sure. So then the next day, you guys are once again in homeroom class. Caleb, you have shown up early as you normally do because you beat traffic on the way there. Luciana, you are a little bit late coming in. Aurora, you were there pleasantly on time. Cody, same general thing. You all get there. And is there any homeroom conversation that needs to be had as the four of you are in the same room? But you may not know who each other truly are.
I think Luciana is like intentionally not even looking at Aurora or Cody. She's just like ignoring them.
Okay.
I think like the only difference in Caleb's behavior is he like turns around and makes a comment about something completely mundane to Luciana, like about like one of the something class related. It's like, oh, did you get X, Y, or Z? My muted friend.
Oh, sorry. Yeah? I haven't done it yet.
Oh, it's not that bad. He just like slides his copy over.
Thanks.
Yeah.
She just looks a little confused.
All right, and I
Okay.
think that as you are checking your answers against Caleb's, definitely not just copying them direct, Mr. Caldwell calls class into session, and he begins class by saying, as many of you know, there was a fire that occurred in the Midgrove Industrial Forest last week. The school has decided that we are going to be hosting a Movie in the Woods fundraising event hosted by our AV club to try and raise money for the forest, even though that is the city's job technically. But the AV club has requested that you all fill out a survey. Please do not write butts for the answer. All of those votes will be thrown out. And he looks towards like a set of like the class clowns kind of thing. You're just like, we're totally gonna write butts. And he begins to pass out these AV club request forms, and you can see that there are 4 movies that they have, and they're trying to figure out which movie they think would be the best to show during this fundraiser. Currently, your movie choices are Seven Samurai by Akira Kurosawa, John Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China, Jason and the Argonauts, or Godzilla. But like the
Godzilla?
2000s Matthew
Oh,
Broderick Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well,
With
there's
the
2
Velociraptors,
clear contenders here.
All right, so for your group, what movie do you think Aurora, which movie do you think you would check off? Or if there is there is the 5th option of like a write-in.
Yeah, I think the first thing Aurora would do would be like pull out her phone, go to like her Google Calendar and be like, am I even like available during this time when this meeting is or this fundraiser is?
Aurora, as you go to check your phone to see what your availability is, you get a notification from Dimitri, and he says that he managed to land you a special guest spot. Apparently, in the nature of the message, some school around here is holding a fundraiser to raise money for those fires that were started by those weirdos in the forest. Don't worry, though, you're going to be the guest of honor.
She'll just like sigh out loud and just go like, ugh. But text back, sounds great! Exclamation point.
Like smiley face.
And then we'll just kind of like look over these names and be like, I don't recognize any of this. Godzilla.
Okay. So Aurora, you are choosing Godzilla 2000. And also Aurora, Dimitri asks if you would install the Universal Midas app onto your phone, as he thinks that it is going to be a lot easier to keep track of a lot of your like incoming mail, a lot of your calendars. Like he's been sold on it by another rep, and he thinks that this would make his job a lot easier.
Yeah, I think that to Aurora, she wouldn't find anything weird about that. Be like, oh, sure. Okay,
yeah, it has
whatever.
the same standard things like, oh, like, do you give us access to your contacts so that way we can let you know who's calling? Turn your turn your location settings on. It's just the same EULA shit that you are used to on every app. All right, so Aurora, Godzilla 2000. Luciana, what movie are you voting for?
She is. I think first of all, after she gets the fill out, she's gonna look to Mr. Caldwell. Why are they putting this on the place that got attacked?
And he says to draw awareness to the dangers of lighting fires in the Central Park. I don't know. I don't oversee the AV club. I do chess club.
Okay, chill, Mr. Caldwell.
Sorry, it's early. The coffee's still working through me. I have to grade a lot of papers.
Just give them all like Fs, except mine. A C would be nice.
All right, everyone Fs except for you giving a C. Got it.
She'll look at it and just put 7 Samurai.
Okay. And Crow / Caleb.
I feel like Caleb is the last person to turn his slip in.
Okay.
Because he like is sitting there deliberating over his choices way harder than he should be. And like muttering to himself, like, I've seen 7 Samurai, and I've seen, but like, I think he eventually goes with 7 Samurai internally on the fact that he doesn't want to see more sorcery up on the screen from Big Trouble in Little China because of recent events. And he's like, just being like way too paranoid about it.
For sure. All right. And Cody.
We've already established that Cody goes and watches like Ingrid Bergman films.
Yeah. He's a huge classic film buff.
So yeah, we've got to go with Kurosawa.
Okay.
And
7 Samurai it is.
Yep.
And I feel like you guys are given like 5 minutes to fill this out. And then he will collect all of these sheets and he begins to look through it and just, very funny, Dennis. And like, there's one that just has butts written in really big letters and he like crumples it, throws it away. And the kid Dennis in the corner just like very clearly like thinks that he is the edgy teen for writing butts on a piece of paper. But other than that, going through your guys' class schedule as normal. Aftershock, Luciana, you and Aurora are lab partners going into today. So I'm assuming that lab goes by about as usual as it has been. Just relatively quiet. Like both of you obviously don't want to break the guise that you have here. You don't want to break your mask while in school. That's just poor form. And then Caleb and Cody, the two of you still have PE together. I don't think that necessarily anything gets brought up there. Cody and Luciana, the two of you have art class together. What is art class like now that the two of you kind of like know about each other?
Oh wow. What do you think we're working on? Because I know we're doing sculpture before.
Let's do like that exercise where you have to do somebody else's portrait.
All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, so then and Cody is like, basically it's like making Luciana the villain, like dark around the eyes and like
they keep moving so you can't get anything right.
Exactly. And so her eyes are like and she's like evil and mean because she was evil and mean to Aurora, and it's just really rough because that's not his strong suit.
I think looking at that, Luciana will raise her hand and say like, who's the art teacher?
We will say that the art teacher is a woman named Miss Erickson. She's very nice. She's a little waifish, kind of has like very thin red hair that she has back in a bun, but like you can tell she's just old hippie.
Yeah. She's gonna raise her hand and say, Mrs. Erickson, I think Cody's trying to bully me.
And she like kind of gets like a screwed up look on her face, like, what, Cody bullying people? That doesn't sound like.
She'll just point to the portrait.
And she comes up and looks at it. And Cody, you said that you were drawing like angry eyebrows, like
it's like with Sharpie or charcoal, it's really like
she looks at it, kind of nods.
Kind of Frank Miller-ish.
Yeah. She's like, it's a little brutalist. It's a little sharp.
I think he's being biased.
Now, Cody, I know that you have done better work in the class. Maybe you could refine some of the harsher edges that you seem to have exaggerated in today's work.
I think he's letting his bias beyond the world affect his influence on the subject of his portrait.
Yeah, but isn't art supposed to be from the heart? And this is how I'm feeling. And he literally is like all slouchy.
You're feeling that I look dark and bad and evil? That's kind of rude.
Well,
and she'll just turn around her portrait, and it's just like a very actually really nice portrait of Cody. In like a little bit of like a maybe like Art Nouveau style.
Nice.
Well, Luciana, it does come across like you are being a little bit confrontational towards Cody right now. Remember, this is art class. Clear minds, clear canvases. Art comes from the heart. There are a lot of troubled artists out there. Vincent van Gogh had a blue phase that he went through over a period of extreme depression.
He also cut his ear off.
Yes, he did. Now, I don't want to see either of you using school supplies or ever cutting your own ears off. That would look very bad for the school. And I really that would be an X card from me, your teacher. Now, Cody, I think that this picture is a fine start. Maybe you can give it a little bit more work. Just a little.
I'll just
And
start
she-
over.
No, like when you go to say like she starts over, she like puts her hand on the paper. She's like, no, it can be fixed. And she pulls out like a little, like a pencil from her like front pocket. And she starts to like looks at Luciana, adds a few more lines and like, it looks like that's all you actually needed to make it look better and not just like this angry like stank. Is like, add some shading, like add some. She has very dark hair, so we can't use dark lines to show where there are curvatures or separations. So we have to use white outlines instead. Now, this is a little bit more advanced trick, but you both seem to be doing really well right now. So this is a free lesson. And she will try and mitigate as best she can. But she's an art teacher. She's not a school therapist or anything like that. She's just like, just draw each other's faces and don't use the X-Acto blade as a weapon. Rulers are not weapons. Like,
Stop hitting each other with the ruler.
she is not a fan of Star Wars because she was teaching after it came out and everyone was doing like lightsaber swings, and she just like she lost too many rulers that way. So yeah, that would be art class, and then Cody, you and Aurora have home ec together as well. So Cody, I think you're probably in a much better mood in home ec class than Aurora is.
Yeah, kind of bouncy, but like now he's like, fuck, I can't talk about what I want to talk about now, So he's like, he keeps going to say stuff and then catches himself.
Yeah, and Aurora's like very much like she's very much about not breaking the mask. So she's like business as usual, and we'll like kind of notice where Cody starts to like, maybe he starts to say something and she'll be like, oh, can you grab the butter, please? I need to grease this.
Totally got it.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, and Aurora, you are finding that like, I mean, Cody was always pretty easy to like, hey, can you go and do this thing? But like, it's even easier now, especially because the other day when he was at your house and you saw that he was wearing like a piece of Aurora, like officially licensed merch. It seems like this is going to be a pretty easy case to win over. You're still a little bit more worried about Luciana, but like right now, the two of you are a home ec team, and that's working out just great. And then last class of the day, Crow, Caleb, you and Luciana have free period together. Is there anything that the two of you wanted to have happen in free period?
We have been skipping our very good PE sessions.
You have
with Cody and Caleb, and I had sort of specific scene in mind in general.
Yeah, we can go back. We can go through PE class. That's totally fine. What is today's exercise? There's a Mr. O'Brien, who is your PE teacher. His name's Jerry, but it's spelt with a G. It's like Gerry. He's
Geriatric.
Jerry O'Brien.
Geary.
I think today is a like fun day, and we are playing dodgeball.
Yeah, Thursdays are fun days in PE. Thursdays are fitness for life. Sometimes you go bowling, other times it's like free lifting, go on a jog, like that sort of thing.
And I think that Cody and Caleb are on the same team. Really just what I had in mind was if we happen to be in a scenario where it was like the two of us left against like someone on the other side, and Caleb yelled, "I need a boost." What would Cody do?
Let's see. How could he? Something like, I guess he would say something like, "Go ahead and throw it. I got your back."
So
And Caleb says, I mean, up.
Oh yeah. He'd like put a knee down and like, you know, go for the whole hucking, you know, throw you in the air.
Yeah, and I think we see a very similar jump to what was performed in our fight, except rather than me awkwardly falling, I'm like launching a dodgeball across the field at the only remaining person, and like I land and I look back at you, and like you see me visibly like dismiss a thought, and continue on.
So is this something like in your vision of it? Is it something Cody catches? Like
I think that's for you to decide. I
Okay.
just rolled if I would do something dumb like this, like not really
Right.
think this plan through and like put ourselves in a weird situation. I rolled like a 2. So I think with that you could even say like as I like leap off in a way that seems way more prepared than it should be for what you just did, there's
Yeah.
like a hold on a minute.
Yeah, so maybe it was something like I need a boost and Cody doesn't have a ball and the other guy does and you do. So then Cody like, you know, drops down like in one knee and just kind of like the shoulder thing, but this time he you know, you step on his leg there and then he hucks you up so that you can get up and over this guy's defense or something, you know.
Yeah.
And Cody, I'm gonna say Cody's like, that was pretty cool, you know, kind of thing, and like, you know, gives you like a high five sort of deal, but it doesn't really sink in like right then and there. But it's stewing. Let's
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. So, yeah, and I'd say that like when this happens, there were maybe 2 people left on the opposing side. Like there was like your guys' soccer team, the goalie has like 2 dodgeballs, one in either hand, and he's just like doing his best. And then the pitcher of your baseball team is the like person in the back. Like they were the first picks for like the dodgeball team on that side for a reason. But you're able to actually quickly shut them down. And it's one of those things where, like, you get the pitcher in the back, and then it's the goalie just up front with, like, 2 balls, but it's 1 dude versus 2 people. He just doesn't have the facilities to be able to defend himself properly.
And this is probably the first day or time that Cody really lets go a little more. So he's a lot more aggressive than normal. Normally it's like shuffle in the back, just wait to get tagged out so that he can go stand on the sideline and just not draw attention.
Oh no, Mr. O'Brien notices this and he is like, where you been hiding this whole time? Have you ever thought about trying out for the football? Oh no, you're gonna be graduating soon. You should try out for football once you're actually in college though. Like you're gonna go far. You're gonna go far, kid.
And he'll actually like smile and take a little pride in it.
I was just gonna say, I think Crow is also in a similar mood. Like, is kind of thinking about the stuff he's gonna get up to this weekend, and like, I gotta be physically ready. And he lets his mind wander a little too much to like be thinking about let's not show off. And that's how we like line up with that perfect like, I know exactly what I need to do to beat these guys. I need like Cody to like boost me up in the air, like in the fight the other day. Like, Cody, I need a boost, and you drop down, and he's in like mid motion. He's like, wait,
that was too easy.
That was the exact boost I needed. Hold on.
Nice.
Excellent. All right, and then free period for Caleb and Luciana. Is there any conversation that the 2 of you would like to have in your study hall / free period at the end of the day?
I think Luciana will just kind of say thanks for the homework.
Yeah. I think if Crow sees you sitting where you normally are,
Yeah.
he would actually like make eye contact and be like, you should motion to come over.
She'll kind of give him like a okay type of look and just come over. What?
He like opens up his saddlebag and is like, okay, so like this is what I was talking about. And he pulls out the seed that he had split in half.
And Luciana, when you look at it, it is a small nugget of gold that is seed shaped, seed sized, and looking at it, it looks like a seed. And even on the inside where it has been cracked open, you can see where there are like those biological growth lines. Like this thing somehow became gold, was an expert creation of fabrication of gold. You're not sure, but this is what Caleb has shown you.
This is strange. Where did you say you get this?
The two I found dropped off, you know.
Right. It's strange. It's almost as if someone took this and just turned it into gold.
Like Midas?
Yeah, that king, that yeah, that one.
That's I hadn't considered that. I assumed it was like completely natural in structure, but that doesn't actually make a lot of sense.
Gold doesn't grow as a seed.
Uh,
So.
the sun did a weird thing, and now there's weird things all over the place. I've read a lot of fantasy. Anyway,
that's fair. I just say be careful.
yeah.
Maybe don't carry it around everywhere.
Well, I feel like that's better than like it doing something while I'm away.
I mean, you could stash it somewhere, like in a room or something.
Yeah, but what if it like feed me, Seymour,
Oh,
and like eats my parents or something?
sucks to be them.
Maybe I'll stash it in the woods somewhere. Nah, I don't like that either. I feel better with it on me, honestly.
But what if it all goes, oh, feed me, Seymour, while it's on your bike and you're riding your bike, and then it hurts you, and then you like die because you had a bike accident.
I've got tools that other people don't.
Okay. Just be careful.
Yeah. I am. Look, I already broke my mom's knife trying to cut that thing in half. Like, I'm not looking to cause much more damage I have to pay for.
If you ever need to do stuff like that, I got some heavy duty tools. And
Well, hindsight's 2020.
okay. Is this all you wanted me to show me?
Yeah, I guess.
Right. Thanks.
Sure. I just thought you might be interested.
Oh no, I am. I just don't know what to do with this information now.
Me neither. I don't know. I'm trying to think about lines, but we don't have a lot of information at the moment.
Well, you said it looked like a pomegranate seed voice in the sky.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting a bunch of Greek mythology vibes. Pomegranate seed. Turn something to gold. Don't eat it, just in case.
Yeah. Besides, like, the supermarket, is there anywhere in town that makes me think pomegranates? Hey, voice in the sky.
Yeah.
Is there anywhere in town that makes me think of like pomegranates?
There's a farmer's market that happens in like in the Midgrove Forest on weekends. It's kind of like a little pop-up. You know that sometimes people sell stuff there. Pomegranates are more of like an exotic fruit though. So usually that's just going to be like a department store, like an Asian grocer, one of those kinds of things. Like you can find them. They're more readily available than not, but they're still not going to be like, there's one dude downtown that's like, welcome to pomegranates only. You want pomegranate? What? We have everything pomegranate. Pomegranate face scrub. Pomegranate bath bomb.
Always a tiny, tiny chance. You never know.
I know there's a pomegranate super warehouse. I don't.
It's right across the street from the Lowe's. It's just as big, but only pomegranate.
Yeah.
We have the Palm Factory here in town.
No.
Sorry, it's Palma, not copyright infringement.
Yeah.
Pomegranate.
Get out of here. Only for real. Only for real palm champs.
I mean, just keep it. You might grow a golden pomegranate. You might make some money off of it.
That would be pretty sick.
But people might start questioning you, and then you'll get all this attention on you that you probably don't want. So.
Yeah.
I mean, voice in the sky. Do I realize that? Would Luciana know what type of armored man Cody turned into?
You have not asked him a goddamn thing.
Well, no, because like I saw him.
Luciana is good at history. She watches old movies that are on like late at night kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
play D&D.
Yeah, you said that you have played D&D the once. I would say make a history check, but that's a D&D skill. Let's
I can roll.
This is going to
situation?
So this is going to really come down to, do you think that Luciana would be able to identify the difference between Roman and Greek style armor?
Probably not.
Okay. Because you
able
might
to
be
get, like a vibe. That's like,
yeah. I think that like all things considered, given the nature of the cultists who said, "Bring us the vessel," as well as like having seen it at Aurora's computer lately, like within the last several days, I think that like this seems like it's tied. This seems pretty heavily like it's tied into Cody somehow.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if we meet up with Aurora and then that person wants to tell you who they are, then you could probably ask them.
Yeah. Tomorrow's the big day.
Yeah. Sorry. I might go in with you. I'm not sure yet. I'm kind of curious as to what this creepy new superhero chin that you spoke of is.
I mean, be prepared. They're not like actually creepy. They just approached me and said some very specific things that made me feel uncomfortable.
Like,
but they seemed
like
quite
cultist, but like not the cultist that we like thought, but like cult. Like
no,
cult.
More like if someone walked up to you and was like, "Man, the Earth seems kind of in a bad mood today," and you were like, "What is that supposed to mean?" And also, what?
Okay.
But then they kept making conversation, and because you're at your job, you have to keep listening to them. And then you run into them.
Give you a tip or something?
Yeah, she always leaves a solid tip.
Okay.
And you know, we were just talking about feeding animals in the park. I just got weird vibes because I'm paranoid all the time.
Yeah, you're a little like twitchy sometimes. Sorry.
Yeah, I no, it's all right. I can't deny that. uh,
I mean, I'll go with you. I might look a little different.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you know me.
are you going with the whole like bird costume?
I mean, that is my persona.
Right. Okay.
And
then-
hey, it's a training session, so maybe I'll walk away with something if things don't immediately get creepy.
Okay. Do you want me to pick you up?
Uh, I'll go there myself.
Okay.
Actually, yeah. It would make more sense for me to be like, I had to get a ride here for
Okay.
you to be with me. So, yes.
Okay.
I'll text you my address.
Right.
Actually, I'll just meet you at that gas station. There would be a lot of questions from my family if I suddenly had people showing up. And I don't really want to deal with that.
You don't have a lot of friends, do you?
Friends with the crows. It's a no.
Right, neither
The
do
answer's
I.
no.
Yeah. She just says it's alright, neither do I. I'll
Okay.
pick you up.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Voice in the sky. Luciana will I was hoping to do this last night, but I totally forgot. But she would have texted her contact that she knows for her gear
Okay.
to kind of see if they can get something for Friday, like a helmet or something for them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
and-
they definitely can get you that.
yeah, like
d-
something maybe with like a little bit of a voice changer in there.
do you let them know that you lost the fake ID that you had?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. I need a fake ID.
Yeah, they're definitely willing to hook you up.
Yeah.
So I think after
Make sure it's UV proof.
Yeah. And there's like a question mark is sent, and then just an exclamation mark, and then it's just still like, I forgot that was a thing. I am so sorry. Are you okay? Come by, pick it up whenever.
Okay. She'll put I'm fine. Just got thrown out. Could have been worse.
Okay. So yeah, then later tonight, I think that you would end up going. I think that. Do you go to their house, or do they just like drop stuff off at your place?
I think they would just drop stuff off of my place because they don't work the same shift as her
Yeah,
Thea
yeah.
or something similar. So if he goes there, like her Thea's not there, so that's
Yeah.
fine.
So I think that by the time that you get home, there's a message that says like, "Oh, it's in a bag by the bushes," like just like outside the front of your house, and like they take a picture, like it's like, "Oh, Amazon, yeah, like Amazon has left you a package in front of your house. It's totally secret and secure," and it's like right dead fucking center of your house, like full view of the street. No,
Yeah.
like there is discretion. I think that if anything, it would be like left inside the house. Your contact has a key. They're good friends with your aunt. That kind of thing. Like, so by the time that you get home, you don't have. There's no voice changing option. It seems like they weren't able to get that on such short notice, but they let you know that they are working on it. But you end up getting what looks like a motorcycle helmet that has some spikes that have been like 3D printed and then molded onto the top. And it looks like, all things considered, if you were looking for more heavy duty gear, that they were actually able to fabricate that for you pretty quick. So thankfully, you have a costume now that is much different than the costume that you had once donned.
Yeah. if they know that they're gonna be getting this gear, they'll go out shopping to get something that's still them, but like different than what they had on.
Exactly. So, yeah, you get your gear together. Is there anything that you guys wanted to have happen over the evening? Because if not, we're just going to move on to Friday. And then Friday rolls around. School goes by as normally. It is now getting to the point where, Caleb, you said that you would go and attend this training schedule. So you end up going to the gas station. Luciana, you're there, like you're wearing the new leather jacket that you have, but like helmet and stuff, like costume wise, is stowed in the back. And the two of you are able to then go towards the dock ward, towards this abandoned warehouse that Loraine had mentioned that she was having these training sessions at. Do you end up like parking your car a little bit away from? Yeah.
They would definitely do that. And they actually are wearing quite different clothes. Like they have actually bound their chests so because while they use she they pronouns, they were born female, but so they're bound their chests and have like more baggy pants to give themselves a more like traditionally masculine silhouette. And they've done so with a binder, because you should never do that with gauze or anything else because it's bad for your body.
Truth.
But and they actually have almost like a turtleneck to hide any skin showing. They have like motorcycle glove on, and so all in all, so I would think they might have a motorcycle, but they actually don't. They don't have that kind of money.
Oh yeah. And so I think that as you arrive, Crow, you are in your full attire as well. When you appear and enter into this warehouse, you can see that there are actually a handful of individuals here as well. There are, and they are all from different backgrounds and creeds. There's maybe like 8 or so of these individuals. And one of them is actually just like kind of like sitting up in the high rafters, and just kind of like kicking their legs down, not really paying much attention. And Loraine, who like sees these two like full costumed individuals come in, you hear her laugh seems to like pierce through the audience, and then she will go over and just say, well, I believe I have not had the experience or pleasure of meeting either of you two before, but it seems you have stumbled upon our little training exercise. And she looks a little bit towards you, Luciana, and then looks towards Crow and just... Now, I believe you and I have met.
Sorry, I as she was looking me up and down, I say, you invited me, and I brought a +1.
Well, it wasn't really an open invitation, but I do admire your initiative. Now, who do I have the pleasure of meeting?
More for my own protection. But...
Well, there's nothing to be afraid of here. We're all just getting to know each other, testing out the waters, as it were. Now, who do I have the pleasure of interacting with? In these quarters, you may know me as Guardian.
Luciana will actually, because they don't have a voice changer, I actually had the idea that they actually do know sign language. So in sign language, they're just gonna say Aftershock.
And then she... Guardian, also known as Loraine, will look over towards Caleb and just, I'm not really sure. I don't...
So, I was thinking sign language might be something Caleb knows, because he has done like training in tricks and being like hand signals. And well, I mean, if I'm already just learning hand signals and I've already learned like ham radio, like what's another like
Rando
thing
skill.
I can learn?
Yeah.
I'll just learn sign language. So I roll, a beautiful 12 here. And Crow goes, what did you sign your name was?
Aftershock.
They go by Aftershock.
Well, Aftershock, it is very nice to meet you. And what do you call
Crow.
yourself? Crow? Tactful. Now, Crow, Aftershock, I'd like for you to meet the crew. And as she enters in, there is Cloud Jumper, who is the individual that is up in the rafters, and they actually have flight as their ability. There's Icebreaker, who is your standard ice hero, the ability to like summon forth ice stuff and turn into ice. There's Blowhard, who is also a wind-themed hero, and it seems like a lot of what they do is like inhale, exhale, outward. She kind of just like goes through and introduces you to these others as well.
Does Luciana see anybody that they recognize?
She does not.
Okay.
However, after you have met everyone, Guardian has said, and we are still expecting one of our head teachers who has so graciously volunteered to, well, get everyone on the level as we so admit, or so we are liking to try. Now, the two of you, are you familiar with anything that happened in the forest the other day with all that fire? Awful dangerous from what I've heard. There were elementals and flame hands being tossed everywhere, doing a downright dirty to my forest. You two know anything
Luciana
about
will
that?
Just do like a little bit signal.
Not much besides what you mentioned.
Oh, of course. Now, what we've all gathered here today is that some of us don't have as good of control over our powers as others. I have volunteered to help teach. Others, of course, are here to help teach as well. And, I believe that is our guest of honor as we speak. And at the entrance of this warehouse, kind of coming in through a double door, there is a individual who kicks up a longboard onto their hand, and they pull down a white hoodie. And as they do, it is who you think it is, Luciana. Kind of scraggly facial hair. It's a white dude with dreads who always thinks that they're counterculture, but like kind of pulled back a little bit. And she says, Drew has volunteered to teach quite a few of our newcomers here about how to use their powers. He's awful skilled. Perhaps the two of you would like to take an aside. He could take you under his wing, so to speak, Crow.
I think
I think wouldn't I get more use out of training under you?
Well,
Your power
I'm pleased as punch that you would want to come work with me. I accept your offer. I didn't want to be picky. He's one of the most skilled users that we have here. Aftershock, what kind of abilities do you have? We should probably pair you up with somebody who also knows what they're doing.
They're mostly here just to hang out with me today. They were a little unsure about the whole thing, wanted to feel it out. They don't quite have full control of their powers, and it can be a little catastrophic for them to test it out. So we're gonna wait on that a bit, I think.
Luciana just nods.
Well, all right. Well, first things first. As Drew the villain formerly known as Apex, kind of comes in. He waves towards Loraine, and they seem to have a pretty good rapport. And more of these other individuals will also come over and kind of like introduce themselves to him. And he seems, he's got a smile on his face. He's really charismatic. He's good at talking to them. Luciana / Aftershock.
While that's happening, she's going to have like a little aside with Caleb or Crow, and her kind of like her back to the group so they can't see in case anyone speaks sign language, and just kind of sign because they know that Caleb now knows sign language. Just like, that guy is bad news.
And Caleb / Crow, as you look back over, you see like he's like belly laughing with a couple of the other would-be heroes. Like, one of their powers kind of messed up, and he's like, no, it's fine. And he is, he's taking a very appropriate a teacher's position on this. And yeah,
Crow looks you back as you sign this, and he's definitely searching to like be able to look you in the eye with a silent like, are you like really like, are you joking with me, or are you like, no, I actually know this person and I'm being very serious right now?
If he makes a motion like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I think because he can't find a visual connection, he actually just sticks his pinky out in a like, pinky promise me.
You see their helmet, look at you, look down, look at you, and then what you would assume is it's that full body kind of like, so they pinky promise.
Crow just nods and like motions back towards like Loraine, like, let's just keep up the ruses as long as we can and get out of here soon.
Yeah. And as you are working with your powers with Loraine, Crow, how much of this power of your Janus abilities do you let shine through?
Crow's still trying very hard to keep up the facade that he's not thought out, not really reached out with his skill, which is obviously a little spoiled due to the fact that he shows up in full costume. But he still plays it like low key and is like, okay, yes, I know a little more about my power than I let on. But I think he actually like tries to let out as little as possible just to see what she comes up with in terms of ideas, just to see if he can like get some unique stuff out of her that he hadn't thought about.
So some of the things that she tells you is basically like, take deep breaths, calm your mind, kind of let yourself feel the things that are around you. She calls it being a medium for the forces of nature. You kind of have to have a sense of understanding that you are in control, that the creatures of, in her case, the earth, in your case, the sky, that they are here for you to use. She definitely does not have the same, like, oh, these are my friends kind of thing. She talks about them and speaks about them as if they are friends, but the way that she manipulates these creatures definitely seems a little bit more, oh, we're definitely friends, aren't we? Like, there is a facade that even she puts up as well. And one of the things that she speaks to you is that, like, have you tried doing it on multiple people? Or have you tried doing it on multiple crows? Do you know if it's just crows, if it's all corvids, is it all birds? Like, she's more trying to gauge your powers themselves.
I think Crow has actually never really considered like trying to manipulate any types of birds except crows. So this is helpful, and he's like, "Oh, I hadn't even thought about like more than just crows."
Yeah, and she says that there are some mud swallows that are up in the rafters, and she will ask you to try and call them down.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it a shot. Why not?
Okay. Roll to unleash your power. As you have specifically said crows as your creatures, so more of a just like, this is technically branching out.
None of my things. I'm not hopeless, so I don't take a -2. So that's a 10 exactly.
Yeah. And Crow, as you reach out to these swallows, they seem to respond. They don't speak to you in the same way that the crows did, but they still respond to your call as you like make motion for them. Disney princess style, they seem to just sort of like land upon your shoulders. And they sort of like give you that like side bird look because they can't look at you head on. But more like they seem like, oh, what, like that was interesting. Would you have us do it again? Like they seem like kind of on board. Nobody's ever spoken of them that way before.
All right, yeah, I think Crow like messes around with the birds for a little bit before kind of realizing that he's supposed to be in a stressful situation. And like,
yeah, like Crow is
fighting.
You're like trying to remember you're in a stressful situation. You look over at the guy that Aftershock was like, he's bad news. And he's like sitting down in a meditation circle with the other power users talking about finding your inner focus. And Loraine, after you've shown that you can like not just speak to birds, she laughs again and says, well, I can control the earth and you control the sky. All we would need is somebody who controls the strengths of the ocean, some sort of like aquatic man or something like that, and we would be unstoppable. Think of all the good that we can do with our powers.
You would be kind of limited to large bodies of water, though, wouldn't you?
Well, that's why you have you to cover the sky and me to cover the earth. It'd be a 3-team.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, and she is she just seems to be talking to you about that. And then Drew, who you see is like doing his best to help teach these other power users in Aftershock in a way that is very eerily familiar to the same way that he taught you how to use your powers initially. You see them making leaps and bounds. Icebreaker, who was like doing his best to like chill things, is actually like starting to form pockets of ice onto the ground, that sort of thing. Blowhard is able to kind of like control their breaths, almost like that circular breathing that woodwind players can do, where you can both exhale and inhale at the same time to create more of like a constant jet of this air. Others are having more difficulty still, but for the most part, it seems like Drew's lessons have helped at least to that day. And he will make his way over to you, Aftershock. And he has a very, very calm, very casual smile on his face. And he says, hey, it's... well, I noticed that you were over here working with Guardian. I was wondering if there was... if you had a power similar to hers, or if you were needing some help.
They'll just sign. I'm just here to watch for now.
And he says, whenever you're ready, we'll be here to help you.
I think when he says that, they'll sign since I can understand. And this is the thing, Luciana knows they can understand. They'll say, what do you know about moving Earth?
And he'll pause and say, I don't really know much, to be fair. Abilities like that are few and far between. I actually haven't met anybody who can do things like that yet, but I've known a few other people. Icebreaker, for example, he also has some elemental abilities. Maybe we could pair the two of you up, and he'd be able to help you.
They'll say thank you. I've only in the last few weeks realized what I can do, but I'm scared to hurt people.
And he nods and says, it's always a scary thing, understanding the limitations of your powers. But if you just set your mind to it, you can accomplish wonders. All you got to do is try. And with that, he like puts a hand on your shoulder.
Spiky shoulder.
Yep. And like his fingers like fall right between the spikes, and he just sort of like gives you a little bit of a shoulder shake. And he says, don't worry, man. You got this. And then he'll turn away and like call to somebody else to help them out with their powers. And as he's like turning away and then walks back, like he gets a little bit away and then he kind of stops and he turns around and just says, you know, you kind of remind me of someone. It's weird. I feel like I've met you before.
We'll just kind of sign who.
He just says, just an old friend. And then he'll go back to helping out the other
They'll
kids.
just shrug.
Yeah. So yeah, your guys' training session goes by otherwise uneventfully. And after the session is over, these would-be heroes begin to file out. Are you two like the first one's gone at this point? Once like training is called, do you linger around for a little bit?
I think
Third one's out.
third one's out, yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking.
Can't be first. Too
No.
sus.
Yeah, first is
But early, no problem.
First is
Yeah.
Cloud Jumper. They have the power of flight. They're fine. Yeah, like they are like you guys kind of like trail out, and then getting back to your truck, Luciana. I feel like Luciana, like that walk back, like you were like
I'm just like
shaking. Like it's one of those like.
Yeah.
Like it's like you can't help but like you feel like your hand just kind of like
Yeah.
you can't not have the shakies
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
And
I think their car is the type that you have to like open it with the car key at first.
Mhm.
So you see that there's like Caleb might see that there's like a few tries at putting the key in the lock, and then they'll open it, and they kind of like hurry you in, and then they just drive off really quickly. They're still in the helmet.
yeah, and I feel like Luciana, as you throw it in drive and you skid out of the parking lot and you're making your way out of like that long kind of like the dockyard long roads that kind of just run along the warehouses. As you're going, you just see coming from the warehouse, longboard goes back onto the ground. Drew hops back up, puts his hoodie back on, and then just with two fingers behind them, you just see them push off. As you know that they use their innate ability to just cause those small pressurized forces of air from behind them to just begin going. And as they are longboarding off with you white-knuckled, steering wheel on, Crow full costume next to you, who's probably like in the process of taking off his mask. you are going to Aurora's, as that was or at least that is where you had said that you were going after this. And I think that as the two of you part ways, that's where we'll call it for tonight's session.
Can I put a little end point on that?
Yeah.
I think.
What's the vignette?
You see, before they head off to Aurora's, you see Luciana's truck just kind of parked in an alleyway. And you actually, you see that Caleb would see that their bodies since, and they like take off the helmet, just throw it in the back, and then you see that they just have like a full blown just kind of panic attack. And I think that's where we would like end it.
Yeah, is like, Luciana, you were just taking like these deep breaths.
Yeah.
You are like in not a good way. And Caleb, you are looking over at your companion, friend, training partner, who is
Time
time
to comfort a friend.
It's time to comfort
Let's
a friend.
go. I've been training for this my whole life.
And that is where we will call it for tonight's session. So I'd like to say thank you to everybody who decided to stop by and join us for this wonderful session of Masks the Green Sun. I love having these guys on this show. I love having you all on this show. This is a great game. I like Masks. This has been a very fun thing to GM because I literally roll no dice and I love superheroes. So great times. But it's always great times whenever you people are on the show. KyleWithAnN, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hi everyone, I'm KyleWithAnN, otherwise known as KyleWithAnN on Twitter and Twitch. You can check me out. I stream Tuesday evening, 6 p.m. EST over on my Twitch channel. Right now I'm playing through some Fire Emblem 3 Houses, having a grand old time. So if you want to stop on by for that, would love to see you there. I'm also in like a few YouTube videos over on the Jabroni TV YouTube channel. You can see me playing some Fall Guys, some Monster Prom, and maybe some new content coming in the near future. That's really exciting, and I can't wait for you guys to see. I'm in a couple of podcasts as well. I'm in Cape Lorelei, which is an Urban Shadows actual play podcast done by Off the Table. Also do a couple crossover episodes in East Cedo Beach, the sister show. So if you want to double the KyleWithAnN, you get double the shows. I'm also in one with channel regular Cyberwolf 1201 called Let's Talk About It, where we get blasted and we talk about the games we play in and other things. And that's available on YouTube as well as Anchor.fm. And I forgot to mention that Cape Lorelei and East Cedo Beach are available on iTunes, Spotify, and one other that I'm forgetting. Maybe SoundCloud. I don't remember.
Like
Anyways,
Stitcher.
Find me there.
Excellent. And GB, where can we find you? What do you do?
Greybeard of Greybeard's Tavern, and you can find all my fun stuff over on the Twitter. That's where I hang out most. My schedule's up over there. We just did Monster Noir, our once-a-month game here on Indoor Adventures last night. Good times. Then, of course, Thursday here at Masks. And then Sunday morning, you can find me playing with all my space guns and toys and stuff. We're doing Grifflands right now on my morning show at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Tuesdays, you can find me over on Lantern Noir's channel. The two of us have almost 80 years of gaming experience, and we do a show which at the time is a live Twitch show where we talk about gaming and whatever topics. Last week we talked about player versus player, and we take questions, pull up a stool, grab a beverage, and hang out with us old timers in the tavern. You can also catch that in podcast form on Anchor, Spotify, iTunes. Those are the three I can remember. And that's it for me, GB.
Hi everyone, my name is Satan, or you may know me on the internet as well as a vamp, and that's how you can find me on Twitter, but it's Elizabeth with 2 P's. You can find me on Twitch and a lot of different channels, especially this channel where I play twice a week and another third time once a month. So you can find me Thursdays here with these lovely people and this lovely voice in the sky. Sundays playing Rhyme of the Frost meeting here, where I play my 100% beef fighter. Um, and once a month on Wednesdays playing Lilith, my vampire and mobster, or another character we've made up right on the spot with Monster Noir that GB runs for us. You can also find me in other channels like Saturdays. You can find me over at Valdrian's channel playing my City Elf Rogue as we play Dragon Age. If you like horny on main groups, that's really a good one. And after that, you can find me over at Plot Hunters. We're an all POC, all LGBTQIA plus channel. So if you like supporting those spaces and you like Dungeons and Dragons and you like watching people just shoot the shit, we're your channel. We're just finishing our Tyranny of Dragons campaign the next session or two, and then we might be going into the Underdark after that. And Sunday mornings, you can find me over at the High Goblin, where I DM for a few of my friends, or I think a lot of people from Ender Adventures have been on that channel. We're going through an undead island, and they just resurrected a Titan to fight what may or may not be a Nightwalker. And Monday at 5, you can find me over at Weave the Tale, where I play a 70s biker bar witch that reads your beer foam instead of your tea leaves. That's also a really good horny on main group if you like those types of games. But yeah, that's me.
Excellent. And Reeves.
Hey, howdy everyone. It's me, your boy Reeves. Know him, love him, hate him. It's your choice. You're still watching me. You can find me at twitch.tv/Reeves_bot. You can find me at Twitter at the same place. I retweet random shit, occasionally post about when I'm going live, you know, the usual uses of Twitter. You can find me streaming on my channel Sundays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, doing the Super Sultan Brothers Super Sunday show. Where we've been off, I think, actually, since the last time we did this show as well, because Tom has been dealing with finals. And we all know how that goes. And then the family vacation, which is just, you know, something to be jealous of. But he's back this week. We're going to be back in action with more Fogs 2 double-ended cat dog, except dog, where you solve puzzles because you have a stretchy middle and you're hollow. If one person like bites a pipe that's flowing with water, it comes out the other end, and you use it to like water flowers a long ways away, and it's terrifying. Anyway, it's Pogs all the way down. Be there or be square. See ya.
And if you've made it this far, you probably already know who I am. But if you don't, hey, Acorns, what's up? It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. We do shows like this on Monday and Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, as well as on Sundays at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/Indoor Adventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point, including full playthroughs of Curse of Strahd, Ghost of Saltmarsh, Waterdeep Dragon Heist, Tomb of Annihilation, and many, many other games as well. So if you're interested in checking up on any of that, you know where to go. But for now, we are going to be heading into our Patreon-supported after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. So if you had any questions for myself or any of these other fine folk, or you just wanted to yell expletives at us, the easiest way to do that is going to be to join us on Discord. You can find the link to the side over Mia or in the link of the description down below. But with that, I would like to say once again, thank you to everybody who decided to stop on by. Thank you to these players for putting up with my bullshit once again this week. And we'll see all of you guys next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye!